right, Coach, we're starting to get in the swing of things here. So how's it feel just for you guys to know the camp's coming up and things like that?
I think it's great. We've had lifting through the winter, the spring, and then some good lifting in the summer. We run a program called Under the Lights a couple nights a week where we do conditioning. But as I tell our guys, now that August rolls around, I think you can feel it in the air, and if you can't get excited for it, there's something wrong. So we're, like everybody else, we're ready to go.
Mm-hmm. And anything in particular at this point that you guys are looking forward to?
Well, we have a lot of kids back, but we finished 500, so I think we have a lot to prove. We still only have maybe 5 or 6 seniors. We only lost 5 or 6, so we're still a very young team. We do have some young kids that have some experience, but I think they need to know that they need to take it to the next level if we want to, get back to where we were the last few years.
Mm-hmm. And you did lose a couple bigger players, but is anybody you can think of that might step up in camp here for you?
Well, we're going to look to our junior class. We did lose a key two-way player, John Ireland, who was outstanding. We lost a couple real solid linemen, Adam Hilliard, Todd Smeltzer, Dalton Kirkwood. Levi Bruner was a reliable tight end and linebacker for us. So we lost 5 quality kids that pretty much played both ways for us. Of our seniors we have coming back, primarily 5 of them, they've all played or started last year. So we'll look to people like Jesse Baker, who's our quarterback safety. Monteo Coleman was a tailback. Matt War was a defensive lineman. Jonah Benz is a top reserve and is looking to get more playing time. And Gabe Manzanilla is our big left tackle. So those guys we're going to lean on for leadership and experience. And we do have some kids that have played a lot, even since their freshman year, with Jesse Lee, Matt Miles, Eric Shirley, even Bossa McCracken. We have 4 right there who played a lot as freshmen and started for us last year.
And you kind of hit the nail on the head by saying you guys were 500 last year because there were a lot of things you did well, some stuff you didn't do so well. So what are you looking to improve on?
Well, we had a couple games we didn't close out. That could have been the difference in making the playoffs, and obviously that makes a difference in having a winning record. For as young as we were, if we would have been able to go 6-4 or 7-3, that would have been so much more satisfying. But we didn't, and that's a credit to the teams that beat us. And so I guess our primary focus has to be we need to now get back over that hurdle to where we were in 14, 13, and 12 and reestablish ourselves as one of the better teams in the conference.
Mm-hmm. And a little bit of a different setup this year with West Shamokin coming in and then you guys doing the Week 10 thing with the WestPAC. So how do you think that that's all going to work out?
I think it's a great arrangement. I mean, we went to West Middlesex last year from District 10. They came to our place in 14. It was a great matchup, but the travel was such an issue. West Shamokin has really come back into being a solid program the last few years under Coach McCullough. So them coming into their conference, as everybody says, they're an unknown, but I know in reading up on them that they have solid kids and they have some experience coming back. So, and then the Week 10 arrangement, quite frankly, as an old Appalachian Conference guy, I think is a great deal. Obviously, you strive to get to that championship game against their number 1, but however you finish out, you'll play against somebody of equal caliber, and I think it makes for a very meaningful Week 10 game.
Mm-hmm. And do you think that'll help too going into the playoffs, going and playing a different team from a different conference and kind of getting ready for playoffs like that?
It could help and it could hurt. It could hurt your standing as far as your seedings, but to me, you look at the positives of it. You will play an unfamiliar opponent for the most part, unless we get Portage again, which we seem to have matched up with the last 4 years. But yeah, I mean, if you're going to enter the playoffs, you're playing probably a playoff caliber team, so that'll get you a good, solid Week 10 game to prepare your kids for that playoff type mentality.
And is there anybody in particular you're looking to step up in camp for you?
I wouldn't want to single anybody out. Just a lot of guys. Like I said, we have a small senior group. I think they'll lead by example. I hope they step up and lead vocally too. And I've talked to some of our juniors. They have to take on that role too. And it's just very important. I think when we look back at some of our more successful teams, it wasn't always talent. It was the fact that we had kids that were, they took the bull by the horns and they were leaders. And it's just such an intangible that kids need to understand.
All right, sounds good.
Thanks. Good seeing you again.